Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I am joined once again by the prolific Commodore himself, Zilius.
I feel like you need to start coming up with like a rock riff to your introduction, because you're kind of like, yeah, welcome to the podcast, with like a little like guitar riff, some drums going in the background. I think it'd be pretty badass, yo.
So if any of the viewers out there have any musical experience and would like to give us an opening riff or, a little theme music to this or any of the Something Slightly Different or any of the future Zelius videos, please hit us up on the website. We would love.
Having musical talent would be key in my idea.
Indeed.
Fire detail.
Woo!
Something I am sorely lacking in, as you know quite well.
Indeed, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right down to business. Starting tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I apologize. I thought it was on Monday as well, but it's only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is MomoCon!
MomoCon!
That, of course, is taking place downtown in the Marriott Marquis and the Hilton. Now, of course, all the fan tables are located in the Marriott Marquis, and please, please be very, very nice to those individuals who are utilizing the fan tables, as they are paying potentially an exorbitant amount of money to have awesome stuff for you to see and interact with. As the Marriott Marquis is charging for phone lines, internet, and electricity to your fan table. Now, Zelius, you had a question.
Is that normal at conventions for fan tables, such as Ultra Confusion, to have to pay for a table?
Okay, so the table is free, but the hotel has decided to put a surplus expense on anything that requires their interaction.
Man, those bits cost so much money to transfer over the network.
I know.
Did they give you like an idea of how much this shit's gonna cost?
$70 for the electricity, and I don't even want to go into internet or phone line. I don't need either of those. So $70 for electricity.
How the bloody hell do they come up with $70? Because they can.
It's their standard rate.
Wow, that's some really expensive coal that they're burning on the basement. Mm-hmm. That's like diamond encrusted coal.
Indeed.
For $70 for a weekend.
Indeed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to apologize profusely for the lack of information on the MomoCon site. It tells you when it starts and when it finishes, and it kind of gives you an idea of who might be there. But it doesn't list any of the fan groups, and it doesn't list any of the panels that are going to go down starting tomorrow.
WTF, mate?
My recommendation to you, the listeners, the viewers, the fans, the amazing people out there, is if you are going to MomoCon, get your ass down there as soon as possible and pick up a program. I'm hoping there is a program. If there's not, then we are seriously SOL for the entire thing. But have no fear. Ultra Confusion has already had to deal with this once this year, thanks to Kanuga, and I will have a big-ass whiteboard in front of the fan booth the entire time, giving you the pertinent information, at least for Ultra Confusion. Now, of course, if there's any other organizations that want to, check out Ultra Confusion, maybe some cross-promotion, type of things, I would be more than happy to share my whiteboard with you to enhance the ability and the chance that any of your panels and information might be disseminated within the masses that will be attending this convention starting tomorrow.
When I really want to know you, are you going to the MomoCon rave?
I have the potential to go because I have no other obligations.
I want to see you raving, man. I want to see you with like glow sticks and going like crazy, man.
No cameras allowed.
Fair enough, yo.
Okay, so this, I just have to say, okay, so I'm drinking what's called a Left Hook Energy Cherry Limeade. Okay?
That sounds...
I should have known that it was going to be red in color. But the can is misleading. I was thinking, I don't know what color this is going to be. When I opened it up, indeed, it is like a dark cherry color.
That's intense. I'm drinking Angry Orchard Apple Ginger Hard Cider.
I've already had 2 Stellas, so...
I'm a fan. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of the ginger. Like, I'm a cider fan, but the ginger is not doing it in my cider. I've found out.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Well, it's the variety pack of Angry Orchards. So it's only a couple, so I'll drink them, but I'm not going to go be buying a 12-pack of ginger apple.
Yeah, it's not bad. Tastes like candy.
Just put some tequila in it. You're good to go.
I don't touch hard liquor.
The whole point is that it still tastes like candy when you're drinking the liquid.
That's why you just throw vodka in there, but I don't drink vodka either.
Well, then. You're just... What about Everclear?
Are you fucking insane?
Well, some people wonder.
You do know that Everclear will eat through plastic, right?
Well, this is why you put it in with other liquids, so that the plastic is protected from melting and killing you from cancer. I'm trying to watch out for your health, yo.
Oh my god. That
not.
The logic of, yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to just pour stuff, continue to fill up something that's got Everclear into it until it's diluted enough so it doesn't eat through a cup. Does not appeal to me whatsoever.
I worked in college pretty damn well.
I never touched Everclear in college.
You never had
Hunch Punch? No. I never had Hunch Punch.
Really? You never had Hunch Punch and you did it straight out of the bathtub?
Fuck no.
Yeah, but Everclear would sterilize the bathtub, so it's all good.
Oh, Jesus. All right, let's get back to games here, folks. Zealy's put us on a rave rant and then alcohol and...
I wake up with tomorrow.
Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about some games here. First of all, Memento Mori 2, which, of course, has been the playthrough that I have been diligently trying to get through. I have completed it. Unfortunately, you won't see the end until sometime in June.
In June!
There are 22 episodes to the Memento Mori walkthrough.
Okay.
So, I think I've released episode 4. So you got a little bit of time to go.
That'll bring us to June indeed, sir.
Indeed. I think so. Fuck, I don't know. I apologize profusely. I need to update the videos that have been published on YouTube to Ultra Confusion. I will do that after this episode.
Right on you.
And of course, the next game that I'm going to start to play is The Last Door. So.
Did you know that Momocon has a career fair yet?
No.
It does.
Okay.
Just trying to help you. Just trying to, let you know what's going on Momocon.
Thank you, Zelius. Unfortunately, I'll be stuck at my table the entire time, so.
Oh, yes, your table. You can seek job helpers to help out in Ultra Confusion. And you can pay them with...
unpaid interns.
It'd be just like the real world after you guys do some college.
I'll give you some real-life experience.
Yeah. We can pay you in beer. Or energy drinks. Playing with dogs. There you go, see? There are some benefits to the job.
Indeed. All right, let's see here. What can we talk about? The Wildstar open beta is over.
How far did you make it, yo?
Level 23.
There we go. So what are your final conclusions, thoughts about Wildstar?
Okay, Wildstar is an interesting game. It's definitely a little bit different than what I'm used to. There are times where I appreciate the fact that you don't just lock onto an enemy and then just mindlessly push buttons to try to kill it. You actually have to have some kind of strategy to attack an enemy. At the same time, for the love of all that is holy,
whoa!
If the enemy moves slightly to the left or the right of where I'm currently shooting, please, just allow me to refocus slightly to where the fuck they are.
Haven't you ever seen a John Woo movie, yo? It's like, guys, they dodge bullets and shit. It's like, what? There's a bullet, I'm dodging it. It's
no,
like
they're not dodging bullets. They're just walking. They're fucking walking, and they hit like a piece of like terrain that they can't easily walk over. So they go for the easiest route and go whoop, and they're no longer in range.
How many bullets does like John McClane dodge just by walking?
How many bullets have been wasted in any action-packed movie? Everybody's cross-eyed or shooting with their eyes closed.
See? So it's like a real action movie that you're playing in because you keep on missing people. Because
My eyes are wide open. Anyways, so okay, there through the first 20 levels, it was interesting. Once I got to 20, there was a lot of rinse and repeating and a lot of lucky breaks in order to advance through the next quest or through the next whatever. So I don't know. It's like the story. The story was kind of, chugging along, and then it just kind of came to a fucking halt. And then it's just a bunch of side stuff that I was having to try, I don't know, 6 or 7 times to get through, and sometimes I had to be like stunt devil extraordinaire, trying to literally just like walk this tightrope along the edge of a cliff, so I didn't have to fight the guys that if they teamed up were going to kick the shit out of me. But the problem is, I get resurrected at the bottom of the mountain, and all I need to do is beat this guy at the top of the mountain. Though I did, this is one of the things I really did like. In Wildstar, there are green entities. When you click on them, they show green. They are the friendly enemies. You cannot do any damage to them. Then there's the yellow, which is they will leave you alone unless you instigate.
Yep.
Then of course the red, which is the guys that are gonna as soon as you get within their sphere of awareness, they're gonna try to kick the shit out of you. The cool thing was that when I completed certain side quests, areas where I literally had to fight for my life, upon completing the entire side quest story, those enemies would turn yellow.
Oh, that is
so
kinda
that
cool.
I could then navigate through, and unless I really wanted to beat someone up, I wouldn't be touched.
So it really does kind of encourage you to finish that zone so
Absolutely.
that you don't get aggroed all the damn time.
Yeah.
Now, did you partake in any of the dungeons?
No, I did not. I could never find a group of 5.
Because I heard
tried to
that
go in there by myself. So I tried a very low level dungeon by myself at 21, and instantly had 20 bad guys on me. And even at 21, it was a gruesome death.
Yuck. Because I heard that's where the fun kind of starts, really, is with the dungeons around level 20, if you can find one. Now, was there a party finder system even built in, or did you just have to do like zone chat to try to find a party?
All I saw was LFG.
Yeah.
I didn't see any kind of. I'm sure there is a finder there, but any quests or dungeons or anything was just over the regular zone chat.
Yep. Because I remember I saw people. I never got to that far, but I've definitely seen people in zone chat looking for 2+ parties for different quests and stuff.
Yep.
Which was recommended to do because it got you really good items if you could do them.
Yeah. So. Or you just stockpile all those 2+ bounty board enemies, and then you wait until you're double their level, then come back and just go, you're dead. Which is
but
what I
then
did.
the gear is not really good for you anymore.
Well, I salvaged it. Which,
oh, well.
Okay, so that was the one thing that ticked me off. Okay.
The one thing?
Okay, one of the things that really ticked me off, besides the fucking targeting thing, that will. Okay. One. Wildstar is played in a borderless window. Okay, it's not full screen. If you've got dual monitors and you're trying to click the shit out of something in the corner of the right corner or whatever corner it is that you're sharing with your other screen, there's a chance that your mouse will click on something else, making you lose focus in the game, which means your ass is grass. Okay,
nice.
But that's something totally okay. That's gotta get. I had to get that off my chest. Anyways, going back to the other thing. Okay. So you have these hobbies, mining, archaeology, leatherworking, engineering, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
If I'm putting in some work, I want to at least be able to do something with the fucking crafting table, okay? At least one thing. Like mining, maybe I could refine the ore. No. The
No.
crafting table is absolutely useless to me.
Oh, that's lame.
Like it finally, like when I was level 21, I got bored. I just started like walking around there's a main city. Basically, the entire story opens up when you get to Thayed or something like that. It's basically the capital city for the exiles, which of course Zealous would never have seen because he chose the douchebag side. Excuse me, the evil side, the Empire.
I don't know, man. I thought that was the good sides, man. You guys are like the upstart little yippity mofos, man.
Shut up, Vader.
Okay,
anyway, so I was walking around the main capital, and I finally found something that I could do. Unfortunately, it was way too late in the game. I didn't give a shit about it. I finally found one of a skill that you can actually utilize, that you can make stuff from, and that of course is cooking, which I think it's like a universal thing. You can fish. Well, no, you can't. I don't know if you could fish in Wildstar, but you can definitely cook. You can make jerky. I can make jerky if I really wanted to.
Yum.
But I was selling all my food. I don't fucking care. I never used the food. What was really weird though, okay, so in your hotkey bar, okay,
Yes.
you had this one slot, I think it was the X slot, that's supposed to be your healing. But for some reason, at random times, my healing would disappear from the bar and I couldn't get it back. And then at other times, it's like, boop, there it is. I'm like, what the hell?
Sounds like a weird bug.
Yeah. Well, my biggest bug with the game was that there was a side quest that was literally on the last mission. And for some reason, it wigged out. I completed all the objectives, but it wouldn't give me the end. So literally, the last part of this quest is that these enemies surround a town and attack it. And what you have to do is you have to kill 100% of the enemies, which basically equates, I think, into 8 or 10 enemies. And then you talk to the individual in town and they disappear. Well, what happened was when I get that 100%, that thing disappeared and I never was able to talk to the individual to end the quest. So I was perpetually had other quests that I had to check in with people in that town that I could not because they're all cowering in fear because they're constantly under attack.
That's slightly annoying.
Indeed it was.
Well, I guess, I mean, it's the open beta, so some bugs like that are to be expected still.
Right. Now, of course, one of the unfortunate things for me personally, and I'm sure that I'm not alone in this thought, is that, okay, so the open beta ended on the 18th, which I believe was Sunday, okay? From let's see here, 9 days. Yeah, 9 days from today, if you pre-order the game, you'll be able to start. For me, that's the kiss of death. That is way too much time between when the beta ended. 13 days between when the beta ends and the early start begins is way too much time. For me personally, I've got a shit ton of other games, and by the time that Wildstar were to get around, even with the early check-in release or whatever, I would have lost all of my knowledge and my trigger figure-ness of the game.
Yeah, I don't really think 13 days is that long at all. If anything, it seems like for them to really do any substantial work in fixing stuff what they found in open beta, if anything, that doesn't seem very long at all to me. It seems like it should be longer so they can really work on stuff that needs to be fixed.
Lotro was 4 days.
That they've already pre-ordered. I don't know. I don't think that's very long.
Lotro was 4 days.
What?
Lotro. Lord of the Rings Online.
Yep.
4 days. You have what's supposed to be a finished product. If you are that worried about bugs, then you shouldn't be releasing on June the 3rd and having people get in early on May 31st.
Well, this is true. But I'm just thinking from the open beta, because I see the open beta as a way to find more bugs and shit that's wrong with the game, and as a kind of preliminary stress test. 2 weeks isn't that long to fix stuff if it's really broken that you found in open beta.
When you're that close to the deadline, that you're in the gold release section of the game.
You would hope so.
Well, technically, what you should be in the gold release section of the game, where basically it could go out the next day. But the thing is, you have everybody up. Okay, yes, I understand. You're going to wipe all all the information so that everyone has to start from zero. Fine, whatever. But in that 13 days, people could go back to another MMO and get re-hooked. That's all I'm saying. You're talking about an MMO that's requiring a subscription. If it was free to play, then 13 days I don't think would be that big of a deal. But when you are putting a subscription on the game, yes, you could play for free with the cred thing. But I seriously, I still don't like that the way they're doing it. And I would be very interested to see if it actually works out and what percentage of individuals are able to actually play on cred.
I look at it differently. I think of it because if it's a pay-to-play game with a subscription, it means that when that 13 days is up, you've already paid. I'm assuming you're pre-ordered. You've already paid up. So you're actually more monetarily incentivized to come back after 13 days to the game than if it was free-to-play. Because for me, if I'm thinking, oh, it's free-to-play, I'll just come back when the hell ever because it's free-to-play. But I'm like, damn it, I already paid that $60 and I just have that 1 month basically free. I'm jumping in day one of gold release.
Okay, so yes, absolutely. If you pre-ordered during the open beta or before the open beta, yes, you have that incentive. But I am under the impression that the vast majority of individuals who will probably be playing Wildstar are going to probably wait till the 11th hour to put in their pre-order because they know that they could do a pre-order basically May 30th and still be able to get that 3-day head start.
Yeah.
And of course, $60 is the big commitment because you got to do that on top of a subscription.
Yep.
So my thinking is that you're allowed, for those individuals who are going to wait until the 11th hour, a 13-day window is a lot of time for people to overthink, do I really want to do the pre-order?
Whereas you hope that they just sink in right after the open beta. They're already hooked
Right.
and sinking on.
Right. So you get maybe you push really hard at the end of the open beta. You get a couple of days to recover, and you still have that itch. You do the pre-order, and like the next day or two, you're able to jump in. Then boom, that's what I'm saying. Now, you may have burned out right at the end of on the 18th. Now you got all this time to recover, and you're like, man, I want to play, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I still can't play. Well, what's this game? And then you've lost that customer. That's just my thinking.
I guess I don't think 13 days is that long, but I hear what you're saying. I can see both sides of that.
I think I'm thinking it from the side of the society that we live in now and the need for instant gratification. 13 days could be like a year and a fucking half.
But if you're going with instant gratification, I think of instant gratifiers being the ones who are going to buy the pre-order as soon as they know how awesome the game is during open beta. So not even going to wait to buy the gold version, the $60 version, because bam, instant gratification. I want that right now, yo.
All right. Well, how about this? How about if it turns out that at the 11th hour, okay, let's say you already pre-ordered, okay, and at the 11th hour, right before, let's say 11:59 p.m. on the 30th of May, some shit goes down, all the servers are going down, and it's going to be at least a month recovery. You've got $60 for a game that you're not going to be able to play.
That would suck.
Yeah.
That would obviously be bad. And that's hopefully, for who the hell even makes Wildstar? I don't even know.
That's Carbonite.
Thank you.
Is it Carbonite? I think it is.
So Carbonite, whomever. That's also kind of a way, though, the point of the open beta. It's kind of like a preliminary stress test. And hopefully they can estimate based on the number of pre-orders and how many people play during open beta that their servers won't get absolutely shot upon the first day of gaming. Now, we all know the first day of gold release, that always happens. That's just life. The question is, how do they recover from the initial stress of release? Like you said, does it take them a month to recover, or does it recover in 2 days? And that seems to be a big difference. How long does it take them for them to... Because nothing spreads like wildfire, and they have websites and blogs quicker than, the negative 4,900 error or whatever it is from Diablo 3. And, it didn't really last that long, but it seemed like an internet, kind of like you were saying, it seemed like it lasted a freaking an eternity. Like, this was going on for months, even though it was like a couple of days.
I've got a better example, even better than the Diablo 3 one, and that is the SimCity server issue.
Oh, good lord!
That took for freaking ever. They finally got random servers up, but the problem was your game is locked to a specific server. So,
everything about the SimCity release was just a giant clusterfuck.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to play SimCity single player, it's now available.
Whoa, dude, no way! And there was a great silence from... It's like, wow, if that had come out with the original version, people would have actually cared.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes EA just kind of makes decisions that makes you scratch your head. It's like...
Well, I mean, that type of mindset is really one of the main topics that I'm going to be talking about over the weekend, and that is the push for always online. It's DRM in itself, because you constantly have to authenticate in order to continue to play, and of course that it's now no longer a product but a service that can be interrupted at any time, and paying said additional initial fee, you have to go in with the understanding that this will not be available 24/7, which to me is total bullshit.
I think it was Adobe. This was a couple of weeks ago, because you can do their cloud service for Adobe products.
Yep.
And their authentication server went down a couple of weeks ago, and for 2 days, people trying to access online version, whatever, like Adobe Photoshop, could not access it because the authentication servers went down. And it's definitely it's a brave new world of online, not just gaming, but productivity suites too. I know when I'm at work, at school, and there's a hiccup with Google Apps for 10 minutes, my phone starts ringing off the hook. It's like, John, why is Google not working? I'm like, I don't know, man. Ask the CEO of Google. I can't help you there. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, Microsoft's got the same thing. They've got what's called Microsoft Office Suite 365 that requires constant what do you call it?
Internet connectivity.
Internet connectivity for version checks to make sure you have the latest version. And when it goes off, you better have a backup. Because
as a tech guy, I think the older IT crowd.
Yeah.
No cloud services. I must have my Unix power system, and I must harden and blah, blah. I'm like, screw that, man. I love my cloud services. I mean, the best day of my life is when I got rid of my stupid email server and I'll host on Google. I'm like, oh my gosh.
See, but that is, in my mind, that is something slightly different, because utilizing cloud technology to host data is different than having to utilize a constant online connection to utilize a specific service that could potentially run on the PC environment.
Fair enough.
Or excuse me, the desktop environment, so that it don't leave out Mac or Linux.
Oh, that makes sense. I could see that too.
Because if you gave the option, Steam has a great way of doing this. Steam has the ability. Steam would really like for you to have an online connection while you play the games, but there's also an offline mode that will enable you to basically play the game as is, and then the next time there's an internet connection, it will, re-authenticate, check for updates, blah, 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 blah. But you still have that choice.
Let's be honest, though. Steam is one of the few companies that actually gives a shit about the customer.
True.
I mean, obviously, they're profit-driven. They want money. They want to make a profit. But it's one of the few companies that actually makes decisions looking at the full picture of what will actually serve the customers well. Whereas most companies are just what will line the pockets of our shareholders.
Right.
That's
all. One real quick. Hello, Naita. We've got Naita in the chat room. So shout out to you.
Do you know who this person is? All right, rock on.
Naita actually joined my Smite feed last night while I was playing some rockin' tunes, if I have to say so myself.
Did you curse a lot at Smite? Was there massive cursing and yelling and gnashing of teeth?
There was smiting to be had, and I might have cursed a couple times when I got quadruple teamed. Are you trying to say I'm a
pirate now? I'm really confused.
Arr!
That's kind of scary, though.
Okay, but anyways,
you need more scurvy.
Knight is playing Smite.
Right
on. Dude, I kicked some serious ass at Smite. I just have to say it. Man.
I take your word for it, man. I was out destroying bad primals in Final Fantasy 14.
Did you record it?
It's the same fight I've done like 18,000 times. I've done like all the fights there are in Final Fantasy 14. That's why you're not seeing anything, because like I recorded content as I did it, but now I've done all the content that I can do. So I'm like, okay, there's really not like so now I'm just grinding shit.
Right.
So I'm at that point in Final Fantasy 14, just grinding now. So it's you don't need to say frickin' the same primal 8 times. Probably get kind of boring.
Yeah, well, that's what MMOs are for. You get to a point where you're killing the same guys over and over and over again.
It's like banging my head against a brick wall, only with pinatas in the end.
I don't get the analogy. Brick wall, and then all of a sudden it's pinatas. I don't know.
There's a treasure at the end of banging your head against the wall.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, okay, real quick, the recorded section of this is about to be complete. We will continue on Twitch because we're awesome like that, so we can run the entire hour. But I just want to say real quick for the recorded crowd, thank you for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, tune in next week where we'll see some awesome stuff, I'm absolutely sure, or probably horror stories from MomoCon. Or maybe awesome stories from MomoCon. Who knows? So, thank you, Zelius, for your recorded time. And please stay tuned later. So, thank you.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.